They said moving to Willow Creek would be a fresh start, clean sidewalks. HOA maintained lawns and smiling neighbors, but I should have known something was off the day we moved in. An older man across the street gave me a long, pitiful look as we unpacked boxes. He didn't wave. He just shook his head, went back inside. That night, we got our first welcome letter from the HOA. Not a card, not a gift basket. A printed notice on our doorstep titled, "A friendly reminder of community values." It listed lawn color expectations, yes, the color, driveway, tire alignment rules, and a suggestion that we repaint our mailbox. To match the HOA president's aesthetic. I laughed. My husband didn't. "This isn't just a suggestion," he muttered, eyes scanning the letter. "It's a warning." We brushed it off until the violations started coming in weekly. Unregistered. Garden gnome. Loud wind chimes. A bird feeder that encouraged pest activity. Every time, the fines were small. $15, $30, $50, but they added up. And strangely, no one else on our street seemed to get them. One evening, while taking out the trash, I overheard two neighbors whispering in their garage. "She's on the list," one said. "Karen's watching her house," said the other. Karen. Claiborne, HOA president. The self-proclaimed guardian of community order. Perfect white teeth, hair always in place. She even ran drills with a tape measure, literally checking fence heights like it was a military base. The next day, my husband checked the HOA server. He's a cybersecurity analyst, and well, he got curious. What he found made my stomach drop. There was a spreadsheet, titled The Watch List. It had names, house numbers, behavior scores, and ours was at the top. Notes like, "She asks too many questions. Non-compliant with mailbox. Could become problematic." And then, date. Recommended. Escalation, OCT 15. That was 5 days away. That night, our ring cam caught someone pacing by our driveway at 3 a.m., Karen. We couldn't prove it, but the next morning, fresh citation was taped to our door. Unauthorized political sentiment displayed. Fine, $250. We didn't even have a sign up. That's when I knew this wasn't about rules. It was personal. We thought about going to the police, but what would we say? "Hi, our HOA is stalking us with a spreadsheet." Instead, my husband started digging deeper. Every night after work, he'd sit on his laptop, silent, focused, his fingers racing. I didn't ask questions, just brought him coffee. Then on the third night, he looked up at me and said, "There was someone before us." He found an archived name from the watch list. Someone named Elena Rios. Same street, same fine pattern, same mailbox citation. But here's the creepy part. There was no longer a house with her number. It was just missing from the HOA map. We checked Google Maps. The house was there 2 years ago. Perfect blue roof home, same as ours. But now, in person. It was just an empty lot, fenced off with tall black mesh like something dangerous lay underneath. I felt my stomach twist. "Where did she go?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. Just clicked open another file. This one pulled from the HOA's old newsletter archives. And there it was, a tiny, cheerful headline. "New lot opens for future development. Former resident relocates." No photo of Alina, no forwarding address, just gone. That night I couldn't sleep. Around 2 a.m., I looked out our window. The street was empty, but the black mesh fence around Elena's lot was glowing faintly like something underneath was. Howard. The next morning I asked a neighbor about it. "Oh, that," she said quickly, glancing toward the HOA office. "Best not to ask. Karen doesn't like when people bring it up." Karen, the HOA president, seemed to know exactly when I was looking. I caught her staring from across the cul-de-sac, clipboard in hand, that same tight smile plastered on her face. She didn't wave, she just stood there. 2 days later, my husband came rushing in from the mailbox, pale as a ghost. He shoved a white envelope into my hands. It wasn't a fine, it wasn't a notice. It was a photo of me, standing at our kitchen window last night, the red circle drawn around my face. No note, no explanation. And in the corner of the photo is that same black mesh fence. The next morning, Layla woke to the hum of drones circling above her street. Not military ones, HOA surveillance drones. Karen Claymore had escalated. Layla stepped outside, phone in hand, pretending to scroll. She noticed every neighbor's curtain twitching, eyes darting from inside their perfect houses. The HOA wanted to isolate her, make her a spectacle, smile for the camera. Karen's voice echoed from a speaker mounted on a streetlight. Layla's lips curled into the faintest smirk. She'd been waiting for this moment. She slipped her phone into her pocket and spoke just loud enough for the microphone to catch. Funny how a community security upgrade violates half the state's privacy laws. Karen froze in her seat at the clubhouse monitor. What are you talking about? She snapped. Oh, Layla said casually. Maybe the fact that your fancy fence has been illegally streaming every resident's footage to an unsecured server? I traced the IP last night. Guess who's been selling the data? Karen's face drained of color. You can't prove that. But before Layla could answer, a black SUV rolled slowly into the neighborhood. Then another. The vehicles were unmarked. The men who stepped out weren't here to mow lawns. The lead agent approached Layla, showing a badge. Ma'am, thank you for your cooperation. We've been monitoring this HOA for months. Your evidence completes the case. Karen stumbled out of the clubhouse shouting, You can't do this. I am this community. Not anymore, the agent replied, cuffing her wrists. You're under arrest for wiretapping, illegal surveillance, and data trafficking. Entire neighborhood came alive, residents stepping out cautiously. Some recording on their phones, others whispering in shock as the SUVs rolled away with Karen inside. One older neighbor, Mrs. Lang, approached Layla. We thought you were the troublemaker, she said quietly. Layla smiled warmly. Sometimes trouble's exactly what a place like this needs. She glanced at the now sealant smart fence. For the first time since moving in, the air felt lighter. The false perfection had cracked, and real freedom seeped in. Later that evening, sitting with her husband on the porch, Layla noticed the sun setting beyond the dismantled fence. You know, she said softly, I think we can finally call this home. Her husband nodded. Just promise me one thing, no more HOA battles for a while. Layla laughed. No promises. The camera of our story would pull back past the quiet street, past the community silent, till the neighborhood became just a tiny dot in the vast sprawl of the city. But for the people inside, life had changed forever. And for Karen Claymore, well, prison fences don't need cameras.